This is a tutorial on how to add and modify levels in a Revit project. So after you pick your template, adding levels is probably one of the most important steps in a Revit project, because once you add in your levels, then you kind of get a rough understanding of where your floors will be relative to each other, your roof height, your grade, and all that. So it's a really good starting point. So I just have a metric US and Canada template open. So first of all, I will go to the south elevation, where depending on which template you choose will determine how many levels that you start with. With this template I have 2 levels to start. So simply to add a new level, what you'll do is you'll go to the Architecture tab and just simply click Level here. And then it'll bring you to this Modify panel. And what you'll do is select the endpoint of the other levels and click, and then just simply drag across until you get that dashed line there, and then click again. And so you'll see a couple things now. So first of all, this lock icon shows up. I'll click Modify to get out of here, click back in. So yeah, this lock icon shows up, so that means that all your levels are locked to each other. And then if you unclick that, then you can freely move the level you have selected apart from the other levels. And to lock back in, you simply just line it back up and it'll automatically lock. This dialog box right here, if you click that, it'll bring up another bubble on this side. But if you just want the bubbles on the right side, then you can just leave that unchecked. Same thing on this side. This lock icon here, if I unclick that, this will move freely. Another thing, if this level is too high and I want to move it down, what I can simply do is either in the Properties tablet here, I can change the distance here, or I can simply click into this and then type in a new value, click enter, it'll move it down. So one of the problems though with moving bubbles too close to each other, or levels too close to each other, is they may overlap like this. But what you can simply do is click one of the levels and you'll see this squiggly line appear. If you click that, it'll kind of jag the level line out, and then you can adjust it accordingly for a more cleaner look like that. So another option you have when you click level is this offset option right here. And okay, so say I wanted to add in a grade level. So what I'll do is I want the grade to offset 150 millimeters from the first floor. So what I'll do is I'll just click this, and then as you see, it automatically offsets it 150 millimeters from level 1. And then what you can do then is you can just select it and drag it across to the other side, and it'll snap to those, and as you see, it'll lock. And then like I said before, you can bring up the annotation using this box, and you can move these. As you see, that dashed line appears to let you know that it's uniform with level 2. And then you can move it down so it doesn't overlap level 1 text. And then on this side, if you don't want this bubble to show, as I said before, you can uncheck that, that disappears. And if you don't want this dimension, you can just delete that and move this over. There we go. So there's that. And then as you see, everything once you create a level, it also shows up in the floor plan option and as a ceiling plan. And also it may create structural plans, but you can just delete those if you don't need them. And next thing I'll show you here is when you change the name of a level. So like I said, this was going to be grade. It'll bring up this dialog box here, would you like to rename corresponding views? Which means, do you want the grade text to replace what's this, level 4 on the floor plan and the ceiling plans. So if I click yes, it'll change level 4 to grade on here as well. So that's a pretty helpful tool as well. So what I'll do now is I will open up level 1, which is my first floor plan, and I'll quickly just draw in some walls here. There we go. And I'll throw in a door on the south side. And oh yeah, also our level 4, was it, or level 3 went up to 5,000 millimeters. So what I'll do is I'll select all these walls and I'll change the height of these walls to 5,000 millimeters. And then if I go back to my south elevation, as you'll see, my grids lines are lined up. Level 3 is at 5,000, which will be the height of our roof. The door is visible, and since we drew those walls on the level 1 floor plan, it starts at level 1 here, and then our grade is just below that.